Hello friends, I'm George, the nice smelling gentleman. Welcome back to the channel guys. I hope that all of you are doing well. Today's video is going to be about a very hyped up fragrance that comes from the brand of Fragrance World. The fragrance is called Jack of Clubs, and this has been hyped up to be one of the best, if not the best clone of La Nuit de l'Homme Blue Electric from YSL. So join me in this video today to see what I think about the Jack of Clubs and whether I think this really deserves all the hype that it gets. Okay, let's start by taking a quick look at the packaging, the presentation and the bottle design of this fragrance, because it has a couple of unique features. The fragrance comes packaged in this white colored box with some golden and black accents. On the front you got this J leather or the sign for Jacks. And you got the bottle design, the bottle size, which is 80 milliliters. On the top there's on the back you get some Fragrance World branding. You get a logo of authenticity. On the bottom there's also a production date which reads December of 2023. In order to get to the bottle you need to slide this top part of the box out, and one interesting and unique feature about this fragrance is that you get this pack of cards that's included in the whole presentation. And on the back of each card there's again some Fragrance World branding on them. And once you take out the bottle, this is how the bottle looks. Again, the bottle itself actually looks like pretty standard affair, apart from the this branding on the front, but the cap is quite unique. It's metal and it has again this Jack of Clubs sign on it. All in all, the packaging is interesting, has pretty good quality and some unique features. The note breakdown of Jack of Clubs, at least per Fragrantica. And just as a side note, one interesting fact, Fragrance World scents have finally started to pop up on the site of Fragrantica, which is an interesting thing. So far there wasn't any Fragrance World scent listed there, but at least as per Fragrantica, the note breakdown has the following notes. The top notes are bergamot, cardamom and ginger, the middle notes are lavender and geranium, and the base notes are vetiver and cedar. Now looking at the at the note breakdown, it seems pretty similar to what you get with La Nuit de l'Homme and La Nuit de l'Homme Blue Electric. I'll show you the sprayer in action. It's a pretty decent sprayer. It's actually quite good, to be honest. And now onto the scent itself. As I said in the opening of this video already, this fragrance is a clone of La Nuit de l'Homme Blue Electric, and it is pretty close to the original scent, but there are a few minor differences. When it comes to Jack of Clubs, the opening here is quite bright, quite fresh, quite citrusy. And also, quite sweet, I might add. You get that bergamot note, but there's also some other citruses that have been used here. I'm not sure if it's like an orange or mandarin note, something like that. That adds not only freshness, but also adds quite a bit of sweetness in the opening of this fragrance. You get a ton of cardamom right after you spread this fragrance, and unlike the original scent, the original freshness in the original scent comes mainly from the note of ginger, whereas Jack of Clubs actually lacks that freshness. There is a ginger note in here, but it plays more of a support role. It's somewhere in the background and not as strong as you get with the original fragrance. The opening is very nice, very citrusy, very bright, very fresh, almost has a shower jelly vibe in the opening of this fragrance, and it's quite sweet. When this goes into the dry down, you lose some of that freshness, although this is can be considered a fresh fragrance throughout its life. It becomes a little bit more woody. On the dry down you get that very nice combination of creamy lavender and creamy cedar wood notes, and also I pick up a touch of ambery sweetness and maybe even a touch of vanillic sweetness in the dry down here. All in all, this is a fantastically blended fragrance that has absolutely no harshness. It's very well blended, it's very smooth and very sexy, very creamy scent. It opens up quite bright, and on the dry down becomes a little bit more serious, a little bit more woody, but at the same time also a little bit sweet. All in all, this is a fantastic scent. When it comes to how close this fragrance is to the original, La Nuit de l'Homme Blue Electric, in the air it's very similar, but up close there are a few differences between this and the original scent. The main one, as I said, the opening of this feels fresher, but feels more citrusy fresh compared to the original fragrance. The original fragrance relies a lot on the ginger note for its freshness, whereas Jack of Clubs relies a lot on the citrusy freshness to get that fresh feeling out of the fragrance. Also, this fragrance, Jack of Clubs, feels a little bit sweeter in the opening compared to the original scent. On the dry down, you still, keep those minor differences, whereas the original fragrance feels more creamy, lavendery, and more woody. This Jack of Clubs it's woody, but feels a little bit sweeter again. So throughout his life, this is like a slightly sweeter take on the original DNA. But other than that, it's very, very nice, and especially in the air, it's super, super close to the original fragrance. When it comes to performance, Jack of Clubs have been a very good performer. This scent profile usually doesn't last very long. The original La Nuit de l'Homme, especially the newer batches, have never been known for their good performance. Blue Electric addresses some of those, performance issues, but still it's not a beast on its own. And Jack of Clubs can pretty much rival the original fragrance, maybe even last a little bit longer compared to La Nuit de l'Homme Blue Electric. I've been getting about 8 hours of performance out of Jack of Clubs with pretty decent projection in the first up to 2 hours. This is another area where it outlasts and outperforms the original Blue Electric, in my opinion. When it comes to the price tag, now I think the standard price of Jack of Clubs is usually around about the 25 to 30 dollar mark in the US, and here in Europe it should be around about the 25 euro mark. But because of the amount of hype that this fragrance generated in the community, sometimes prices for this can vary wildly and can reach absurd heights. What I paid for this fragrance is about 25 euros, which will translate into $30. At that price point, I think it's a very, very good deal, but at least in my opinion, you should not overpay for this fragrance. I think a fair price for this should be around about $30 to $35 tops in the US, and here in Europe maybe 30 to 30 something euros, no more than that. Those are the fair prices in my opinion. When it comes to versatility, Jack of Clubs is an incredibly versatile fragrance. It's very masculine, but at the same time very sexy. Can work as a date night scent, can work as an office scent, can work as a gym scent, and can be worn throughout the year. It has enough freshness to work in warm weather. It has enough of a performance to work in cold weather as well. All in all, it's a fantastically versatile fragrance. And on to my final thoughts about Jack of Clubs from Fragrance World, and my answer on whether this fragrance deserves all the hype that it gets. My thoughts about this fragrance are that this is a fantastic take on the original DNA. It's not a one-to-one clone, compared to La Nuit de l'Homme Blue Electric. This has more of a citrusy, slightly sweeter twist compared to the original scent, but nonetheless, this is a very, very sexy fragrance that's very nicely done. And in the air, this one smells very, very close to the original scent. And I don't mind the twist that Fragrance World have done with the scent profile of this fragrance. It has great performance for this type of scent profile. It has fantastic versatility. It's a very sexy scent, and it comes very nicely packaged. You get a unique looking bottle, you get a pack of cards included, into the whole packaging. And if I can point out just one con about this fragrance, it will be about the bottle size. It's 80 milliliters. I would have really liked if or loved if this fragrance came into an 100 milliliter bottle size. And onto the question of does this fragrance deserves all the hype that it gets? And my answer is yes, it deserves a lot of hype and a lot of praise, because Fragrance World have done a fantastic job with this fragrance. But again, just keep one thing in mind: because of all of the hype that has been generated on this one, you just have to be careful not to overpay while getting this fragrance. As I said, a fair price in my opinion for this one in the US should be somewhere between $30 to $35, and here in Europe between 25 to 30 euros. Just don't overpay for that. Apart from that, this is a fantastic take on La Nuit de l'Homme Blue Electric, and along with Lattafa Al Nashama Caprice, I think those two are the best clones of La Nuit de l'Homme Blue Electric. And a fragrance battle between two of them plus another wild card entry is coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. All in all, I absolutely love Jack of Clubs from Fragrance World. And so guys, in today's video I showed you a very hyped up fragrance for a very good reason, in my honest opinion, from Fragrance World, that's called Jack of Clubs. A fantastic clone with a small twist of La Nuit de l'Homme Blue Electric from YSL. I hope that you found this video interesting. If you did, give it a like, and I also hope that you're going to join me in the next one. And until then, stay safe and bye bye.